Yeah, please start, Rohit.
Good evening, everyone. This will be the first live session under the Right to Information course. We are joined with by Professor Sairam Bhat, who is the course coordinator for this subject, and the teaching assistants Vikas Gehlot and Ms. Anuja Shah. And I would also be joining across. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. I think this time we have a different mode of streaming of this live session, where we also have a few enthusiastic students who have joined us so as to break the monotony. Without much ado, I think I'll just explain how the session is going to go forward. So we have divided the sessions for today's discussion into three-legged discussion. So I will be leading first, wherein I'll be taking across the issues and challenges under the Right to Information Act. Just give me a moment, I'll be sharing the screen. Yes. So the first aspect that I would like to be dealing across is if you look at the screen here, there is a man over here, and any idea, any guesses who the man is? You could probably use the chat box. I think since we have participants now who have joined us in the Zoom webinar, you can tell me what this is about. Who is this man? I'm sure most of you would have got it right. It is the Aam Aadmi. So basically, this is one of the depictions by R.K. Narayan in his comical series. So the Aam Aadmi is the one who actually goes to various government departments and seeks for information. Now, where does one seek for information? Now, the logo that you see on the screen, the I logo, that is what the Aam Aadmi wants. It is right there in front of him. But in order to get that information, what should he do? He has to go through the maze that is in front of him, right? So if you look at it, this is a scenario that existed prior to the Right to Information Act. If any person wanted an information, he would have to go through the maze of the public administration, try and find out under which particular department or block is the information available. And only then, after several months or years, sometimes, of struggle, he would get the information, or sometimes he would not get the information also. That is one of the major reasons why we have the Right to Information Act, which has come to existence. Now, if you look at it, one may say, what was the need for such a particular legislation, and why are we discussing about it today and its importance? Now, through our lecture series, so I'm sure that you must have gone through about a couple of weeks of lectures already, and you would have known the historical and background as to why the Right to Information Act was developed. And going forward, the Right to Information Act has itself, brought about a scenario where a citizen can exercise his fundamental right to seek information by means of making an application before a designated person. He need not go through the maze, which is there in front of you. Rather, he just has to go to one corner of the office where there is a particular officer designated as a public information officer, to whom he has to just make an application and seek whatever information that he wants. That is the simplification that the Right to Information Act has done for a right of a citizen. Now, with this, we'll go forward to understand what the Right to Information Act has created for the masses. So the first query that everybody pops into your mind when you look about a law, is this a boon or a bane? So I think we have few participants in the chat. So what do you think? Is the Right to Information Act a boon or a bane? Now, a couple of them, if you are a government officer or if you are a public information officer, you will say, oh my God, this legislation is something that I really do not want, because I have several applications piled right on my desk. Monday morning, I reach my office and I have about thousands of applications on my desk piled up so that I can reply. And there are such strict deadlines under the Act that, I have to reply to them immediately within those strict deadlines. Otherwise, I am going to be imposed a penalty. Now, these are aspects that may come across to you if you are a public information officer. But please let me tell you one thing. Yes, I think I agree with Gayatri as well. The bane is just a small fragment. Merely because there are small negatives that the law creates does not necessarily mean that the law is a bad law. So if that were the case, then probably today we would have all said that laws that are there to protect women, such as your dowry harassment law, is a bad law because there are several men that are getting implicated within it. So that is the rationale with which you have to look at the Right to Information Act also. But here, for a purpose of interaction and for the sake of jest and humor, I've just put up image of a particular personality. Any idea who this is and why he is relevant for this discussion? So his name is Akhand. So he hails from Odisha. And Right to Information Act, whether it is a boon or a bane, probably it's a question mark, which I put on the screen. But Mr. Akhand has made a entry into the Limca Book of Records for the highest number of replies received through RTI applications. He made several RTI applications to various postal departments on various issues and other aspects. And like I told you, Monday morning, the officer comes, he sees several applications, he looks at the nature of it and decides, okay, I don't want to fall into the plight of penalty or anything. Let me reply to everyone. So he replies to all of it, and about a couple of weeks' time, there is a Limca Book of Records entry that is made in the name of Akhand. Now, these are the particular aspects which I would like you to look at to understand what is the purpose behind the Right to Information Act. A lot of judges have criticized the Right to Information Act, stating that, like say, for instance, in current trends, it is very difficult to get a judge as a dignitary for one of the or more of the programs. Because the moment a judge comes and visits a particular program, there is an RTI application made asking, who was the advocate who invited you for that program? What did you have for lunch there? What was the particular remuneration or honorarium paid to you for that particular program? Now, these are the aspects that sometimes you feel that the Right to Information Act cannot draw a line to, as to what is that information that is sought under the Right to Information Act. Now, those are the aspects, issues, and challenges that you face under the legislation on a practical perspective. But if what Gayatri has said has to remain intact, that Right to Information Act should be acting as a boon for common people, I would urge that every citizen does not make frivolous applications, avoids from making applications for those sort of informations which are irrelevant, which do not require the diversion of your national resources in securing such information to you. But as an applicant, as a citizen, it is your right, and you know how to exercise your right most judiciously. So I will leave it to you on that note. Moving further, there are a few key points that we have highlighted for the purpose of discussion, and I'd like to bring the same to you. Any questions so far? So probably on the chat box or something before we move ahead. Any clarifications, interventions that you have? None?
Okay. I think one thing that everyone must understand is that RTI demands transparency, right? And transparency means everyone should switch their video on, right? Because RTI is like a CCTV camera. It watches government functions. And, if the participants are going to shy, I'm not sure, how are we going to allow them to be in this live session? So participants, this live session is it's your time. It's your time to interact with experts. It's your time to interact with people who have organized this course. You should know the law much better. You may have queries. You may have questions to clarify. So it's your time right now. So if you don't speak, then of course we have been trained to speak. So we'll continue to do that. So don't hesitate to intervene. Don't hesitate to answer, because I think that's the whole purpose. I think a better enhanced learning experience is what the live session is for. Because videographs, you can't talk to us, we can't talk to you, we can't see you. The live session, at least, that is the kind of interaction that is required. So transparency, friends, if you're doing the course on transparency, don't shy away. You can switch your video on, or at least use the chat box, if not the video on, or at least use the audio on. And that's the reason we requested NPTEL to give us Zoom instead of just a live YouTube channel. So if the whole purpose of using this Zoom for the live session does not work, NPTEL will actually grade me very low. So please don't make me go down for having chosen Zoom for this live session.
Meanwhile, I think we have a comment on our YouTube link asking for the Zoom link. I'd request Vikas to post it as a comment in the YouTube channel, so that in case our YouTube viewers are interested, they can join in to us. Yes. So coming to this fronts. So basically what we are trying to bring about through this interactive session is, in case you have faced any issues or challenges under the Right to Information Act, or something that you have faced on ground, I think the live session is one of the best mechanisms that you can bring about, of course, on an academic discussion level and not on a consultancy level, because in that case, we will have to take you on a different course altogether. Yeah. So moving further, now that we saw that whether it is a boon or a bane, that is left as a question mark, we'll just look at it as to what the other particular aspects are. Now, under the Right to Information Act, can I ask for creating information or generate an information? What do you think? I write to the particular registries, like say, for instance, what are the different kinds of flowers or species of plants and animals that are there within the compound of your organization. Now, this is an application. See, it is information, right? So species of various flora and fauna within a government organization. I think it's information. Do you agree with me? Is it information? What do you think? Yes or no? Is it information? Yes, it's information. Okay. But can I seek for it under the Right to Information Act? What do you think? Can I seek for it? Yes, I can seek for it under the Right to Information Act. But what if the public information officer does not have that information? That is the point at which I'm trying to bring to you. Please note, one of the biggest administrative challenges that activists or citizens face while going through the Right to Information Act is how to ask relevant information. That is one of the particular aspects which probably a lot of applicants fail to apprise. The moment you ask it in the form of a question, the question will get refused because you're not allowed to ask questions under the Right to Information Act. You can ask for information. You can ask for documents, records, but not a question. So things like, why did you do it? Those are aspects, probably you cannot ask for under the Right to Information Act. But you can ask for information. Now, the information which you're seeking for should be something which is there in the records of the particular office that you make an application to. That is the foremost thing that every activist needs to understand. As a citizen or as a learner of this course, you also need to know as to how the office to which you are making an application functions. You may do so by just discussing about the office, the functionaries with one or more of the officials. You can see, okay, I want some information like this. Because let me tell you, gone are those days where government offices were, shying away from public. Today, most of the government offices are proactive in complying with RTI applications. So they also do not want pendency of applications. They are also more proactive in dealing with the applications and replying and responding to the same. And as such, you can directly go and speak to the concerned officer and discuss with him what is the information that you're asking. But probably in most circumstances, you will get to know what is that you have to ask specifically. Because under the Right to Information Act, documents can be given. The government official also has to have a particular reason why he has given you the documents or information. Because I think from the lectures, you might have learned about something called the Official Secrets Act. So in order to circumvent that, probably the Right to Information Act or some other particular rules that govern your official conduct, it has to take across in the proper manner. Okay. Yeah. So moving further, I would just suggest that you keep the discussion in the chat box to the live session right now, and do not disarray yourself into these aspects.
So I just want to understand what is that gentleman saying. Improve order quality, it is not good, which takes away the interest from the lecture. So, Mr. Joe, it is better to know you. Can you unmute yourself and tell us what your concerns are? You seem to be having problem with the lecture material. I don't understand what that means, Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe, if you don't unmute yourself, we'll remove you from the live session. Yes. Please tell us what's your concern. Mr. Joe, do you want to answer? Can you hear us, Mr. Joe?
So I think they logged off.
So he has written in the chat box, concern already stated.
Okay.
Mr. Joe, means whoever you are, sir. There's a simple request from our side to please be respectful towards the faculty and the course also. Please do not use this NPTEL platform to raise such kind of remarks and statements.
No, yes. I think Joe is still there. He's not logged out.
Yes, he's still there.
So I'll remove him.
Yeah, so if he cannot express himself and if he passes comment in the chat box, there is no point. I think he did switch on his video, did he? At least once.
So not sure. I've removed him from the meeting.
He didn't.
Yeah. So friends, please keep the discussion relevant to the live session, because this is where you can create particular aspects. So we are basically lawyers, and we are not technocrats. Probably you are, and you know better technology than us to probably reduce the size of the videos or make audio gestures and other things. So I'm sure that you are the masters of those. So in case there's any query regarding or clarification regarding audio, since you mentioned that you have a problem with the audio, if you have a clarification, I think NPTEL has created a specification wherein you can raise specific queries with regard to clarifications. I think I'm getting a query here on the YouTube chat wherein I'm being asked to speak about what is this about generating information. Yes, so what I was trying to say is, so coming back to the point, under the Right to Information Act, I can only seek for information that is already created as a record. I cannot ask for new information to be generated. So in order to understand what is that information that is already available, I might have to exercise diligence by understanding how the public office functions. I might have to go and speak to the public information officer beforehand, before making an application under the RTI. Now, it's not a mandatory requirement, but in case you are not able to get the right information, probably you are asking the wrong information. So that is what I'm just trying to put across to you. So moving further, so the second aspect that is there is information in local language. Okay, so now every government has its own particular prerogatives. So like say, for instance, we have multiple states and a diaspora of Indian languages. Can I make an application seeking for information in one particular language? Like say, for instance, I speak Hindi. So I want my response to be in Hindi only. But it so happens that you have made the application in Karnataka and the documents are either available in English or Kannada. What do you think? Can I ask for information in local language? Yes or no? Please note, information should be given as is, where is, in the sense that if information is in Hindi, I can give you Hindi information only. I need not sit and translate as a government official. That is what is the particular crux of the point that you need to remember. The next point that I have to you is, now under the Right to Information Act, you make an application fee of say 10 rupees for each application that you're making in case you are a person who is not falling in the BPL category. Now, let us say there is some deficiency in deciding the application or there is a wrong decision that is applied. Can you approach the consumer forum for relief? Are RTI applicants consumers under the Consumer Protection Act? Now, this is the point where probably you will see that there is a small divide between different courts. Okay. Few courts have said that right to information applicants are consumers and few have categorically said that they are not consumers. So, but if you look at the purposive construction, the RTI Act has created a particular mechanism for you to seek information. Okay, in case the PIO refuses it, you have an appellate mechanism to seek for such information and you can go forward with it. Given that stance, there is no such requirement for you to go as a consumer because the act for which the Consumer Protection Act is created is to ensure that you are not duped as a consumer, you are not caused any grievances. So that is the purpose of the act. Even though the RTI Act and the Consumer Protection Act both have overriding effects of all laws, it says it is an additional remedy despite there being alternative remedies. So that is a particular premise. So I would suggest that do not make use of the Consumer Protection Act for your RTI applications because that will unnecessarily bring about the spur of your litigation into a different tangent. Your requirement is to seek information, use the mechanism under the RTI Act to get your information that you're seeking for. So that is a particular aspect that I wanted to bring to you. Moving further, intellectual property rights and right to information. Now, let us say that I have given across a contract to a builder. Now, this is a particular example that I'm discussing about. And it so happened that I asked the builder, please give me the building plan so that I can look at it, whether the construction is of good quality, whether the plans are right or not. I make this particular application and somehow the builder does not give it to me. So I decide that I will approach the municipality because all building plans need to be, certified and approved before I start the construction. So I make an RTI application before the municipality asking for the same records. Now, please note here, I think by now you must have come across these aspects as to when information can be denied. Section 9 of the Right to Information Act clearly stipulates that copyright of others is one of the reasons as to why information can be refused. So that is a particular, hindrance that you might face in case you are trying to bring about your, interface between IPR and Right to Information Act. But look at the beauty of this decision. One of the reasons why I'm trying to bring about is, even if there is a copyright protection, the court in this case said, yes, information should be provided. Because under the Copyrights Act, there is a clear provision which says, providing certified copies of certain documents will not amount to infringement. Section 52 of your Copyrights Act, if I'm not wrong, stipulates that providing certified copies under any law will not amount to an infringement of a copyright. And that is what the court looks into and says, even though there is a copyright law, the interface between RTI and others is just merely giving certified copies. By merely giving certified copies, the public information officer will not be infringing the copyrights of the particular person and allows for giving the copy of the building plan. Now, say suppose the applicant does something with that particular building plan, probably goes ahead, constructs a similar building or something of that sort. Then in those circumstances, infringement rights still prevail and the person who owns the copyright can still sue them. This is one more particular challenges that you face. And the last aspect, before I move on to the next leg of this discussion, if there is a special procedure under any law, like say, for example, under the Companies Act of 2013, if you were to look at this website called the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, there is a provision that is given to every individual, okay, regardless whether you are an Indian or probably a person settled abroad, to actually view all public documents of a company. By merely paying a fee of 100 rupees, you can download the entire public records of the company in soft copy. Now, there is a special procedure that's already there. Can I exercise Right to Information Act to get the same information? That is the particular point in hand. There was an application made to the Registrar of Companies asking for such information. The Registrar of Companies merely denied, stating that there is a provision for viewing public documents. You can go through that procedure. Right to Information Act need not be applied. The Delhi High Court, my friends, upheld that particular order. Because two things is to be looked into. The special procedure should not be something that is in contravention to the Right to Information Act. It should be something that advances the right to information of every individual. In those circumstances, the Right to Information Act cannot seek an overriding effect. Rather, it takes a conjunctive effect. So the special procedure applies. The last point for my discussion is something that I just wanted to bring to your notice. In case any one of you is planning to make RTI applications, probably you need to make yourself acquainted with this particular postal order. Any idea what this is? Where do you get this? In the comments chat box somewhere. Probably you can unmute yourself and also tell me.
Post office.
Yes. So Raj is right. So Kundu is right. Yes, exactly. So you get this in the post office. Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I am wrong.
Sorry?
I said post office. So I was asking you if I am wrong or no.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
It's a format.
You're absolutely
format
right.
like a postcard. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Very sorry.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. Sir, you're not interrupting. You're discussing, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for the intervention. So this is a particular postal order. So you have postal orders right from 10 rupees to probably 100 rupees that you see on the screen right now, and probably even more as well. For a right to information application that you're filing, you need not, there is an application fee of 10 rupees for each application that is there. In the initial days, when RTI Act was introduced, people would send 10 rupees, a 10 rupee note along with that application. I'm sure even now there are instances where 10 rupees is just pinned to the application and sent. Please note that is not the modality in which you have to make your application. You have to secure a particular postal order from the nearest post office. You need to fill in your particular details over here. So in this particular place, pay to, you will be writing the details of the public information officer. The PIO's details would come. Over here, you will be writing your details. Okay. And please note this particular blank, which I've written here at the post office at, I would always recommend that you leave it blank when you're submitting it, because if you fill this particular spot, there might be a chance that your application might get rejected because the post office where the place or location that you have written is not something convenient for the PIO. So always leave this particular portion blank so that the PIO can themselves fill in. And also over here, pay to, generally it is the SPIO or CPIO whose designation that you write. But in some circumstances, there is a person, there is no specific PIO or anything. Only additional charge as a public information officer is given generally. So in those circumstances, please find out whose name you will have to enter here before giving the application. Yes. So with this, I come to an end of the issues and challenges under the Right to Information Act. I request my colleague Vikas to take over, and the questions that are there in the chat box, I would just reply to them accordingly. Yes.
So I have a question. I'm Raj.
Yeah, hi, Raj.
So when we take the postal order, I mean, they themselves, I mean, the postmaster or whoever the issuing officer in the post office, they will sign and then they will give, I mean, put the date over there
Yes.
in the post office. So we have to ask them, don't sign it there, or how?
No. See, the postmaster will sign over here.
Oh, okay.
This is the place where he will sign. He will leave all of these spaces blank for you to fill in.
Okay.
He will sign it here. So do not interfere with that, because he has to sign mandatorily. And if he does not sign, it is not a valid postal order.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Glad you asked that question, Mr. Raj. Thank you for that intervention.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
I was misunderstood. Yeah. For
Yeah.
postmaster, yeah, they have signed here.
Yes.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir,
This
please.
is Rohan Mehta. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but sir, how do you identify the department or a place? Now, I
Yeah.
don't know if I want to file a RTI to some of the department, which I have no idea where it is, like Chennai, Delhi, whatever. So how will I identify the post office if I'm not getting some information or on websites, or maybe?
Sir, but you will
I
know
don't
what
how to ask the
information you
question.
want. But would
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
information you want?
Yeah, definitely. Then only I
Okay.
can.
What is that
that
information?
Maybe XYZ. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'm
out
giving
of
an
the blue.
example. I'm giving an
Yeah.
example. Like, say, for example, let us take that information that you're seeking relates to land records.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you look at through the Constitution of India, okay, you
Okay.
have something called list items under the
Okay.
Schedule 7. So
Okay.
under Schedule 7, those subject items are divided. The aspect of land falls under the state.
Okay.
So you quite categorically know that you have to look at for with the state authority. So you
Okay.
carry on due diligence accordingly, and you find out that, okay, it is a sub-registrar office that I need to go. Oh, okay, it is the district collector that I need to go. Okay, it is some developmental authority that I need to approach to. So these are the particular authorities to whom you can go and seek for the information. The moment you short down on what is the subject matter of your information.
Is there
Yes.
any time frame within which they have to reply me, or no? Not
Yes,
as
yes.
such?
The RTI Act clearly stipulates a time frame within which they have to reply. So in case it is a matter concerning life and death, so you have about 48 hours of timeline for them to reply.
Okay. Okay.
So only if it pertains to life and death. Otherwise, they have a time frame of 30 to 45 days. So in case the information is available with another department, so in case there is a transfer application that is made, so in those circumstances, it is flexible between 30 to 45 days.
You may sound my questions vague because I'm not at all aware with the subject, sir. Sorry.
Please, no question is irrelevant. So it is a
Yeah,
relevant question, unless it
Yeah.
relates to technological aspects, because here we are not
And
there
it
as
might, and it
technocrats.
might not be, it might not be wastage of time for my colleagues also.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank
on
you
the
so much,
same-
sir. Thank you.
Sir, I would request that you please put the questions in the chat box. I will respond to them, because my other colleagues are waiting online to,
Okay, sorry,
reach out
sir.
to their discussion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
please put your question on the chat box, Mr. Raj. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Vikas, I request you to take this.
Thank you,
Rohit,
Rohit ji. Thank you so much. Thank
Stop
you.
share. Yeah. Thank you, Rohit. So 1 second. Just give me a second. Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, Vikas bhai. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, dear participant, I have means organized this session as a test for what we have learned so far in the 4 weeks with some contemporary developments. My focus is no, because this course was recorded 2 years back. So to strengthen this, and strengthen the knowledge that we have, incorporated in that, I have included some contemporary developments, and I will request your help to find them out, find the solutions to them. So my first question comes, you all must have learned by now the definition of right to information and under section 2J of the RTI Act. It says that right to information includes inspection of a work, documents, or records. Now, I want to ask you a very simple question. Does inspection of work includes that I can inspect the premises or property of any public authority? Can I inspect the premises or property of any public authority? Inspection of work. Friends, why I ask this question is in a very rare recent case. An applicant was aggrieved by the non-completion of certain civil works. Government has given him premises, but the work on those premises was not getting completed. So he wanted to inspect that work that is being done on those premises, on his land. Can he request, can he use the RTI Act to do that? Does this amount to information? Yes, no, don't know. You tell us, sir, हम तो सीखने के लिए आए हुए हैं. So no, I will need some help from you all to find the answer to this question. Does the right to information include the right to inspect the premises of a public authority? Can I ask them? Someone have answered in the chat box.
Yes, sir. We can ask.
Yes, all of you have said yes. Are you sure?
I mean,
yes,
we can inspect
many
the
must
documents.
answer. Does the work include construction work also? Just think of that. The word work. Will that include construction too? Or should the word work be understood, be comprehended in the sense of documents or records only?
I think documents and records only.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now you say documents and records.
Yeah, definitely, because you elaborated, so I got a hint, sir. Otherwise, still I'm not sure.
I should not give hints from now on.
Basically, we can.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, sir.
Basically,
give hints from now on. Yes, same problem now we are facing for the session judge. Okay, friends,
Okay.
this in this case, the Delhi High Court in 2022 held that this word work has to be understood in conjunction with the word document and record. It can't be understood in the context of a property or premises.
Yeah.
Coming to the property, coming to the premises, to inspect a document or record is a different thing. And inspecting the work done on those premises is a different thing. There are two separate informations. So in this case, court held that you can come to the premise and inspect a document or record, but as such, the work done on premises, the construction done, when will it be completed, that cannot be provided for under the Right to Information Act. Moving forward, intercaste marriage certificates submitted to seek public employment, government jobs, can they be asked under the RTI Act? Sir, please give me a copy of the certificate which X person has submitted when he was appointed to this position. Can this be asked?
Yeah, if it is a government document, it can be
It is
asked.
a government document, it can be asked. Oh,
Yeah, if it is a
okay,
personal,
sir.
I don't think so.
Yes, all are saying yes.
Acha, sorry, I have to type. Very sorry. Yeah?
No problem, sir. No problem. It is fine. It is completely fine, sir. Anyone else who wants to say something on this? Can the certificate, suppose I am a government job, I got a government job with the special category established for persons who have done intercaste marriages, and Rohit wants to see. I want to check. I am not sure his certificate is fake or original or fabricated. I want to see the certificate that Vikas submitted when he got the employment. Will you, as a PIO, give me that information? Give me that certificate.
Sir, if the job is offered on the basis of intercaste marriage,
Yes.
that was a precondition, then I think so he can give it.
Okay.
Otherwise, nobody would give it. I think so, sir.
Okay, friends. No,
Sir, I can walk into any office
Yeah.
or anybody and I can ask for personal status. I don't think so I can do that, sir.
So in this case also, the Madras High Court said, no,
Okay.
you cannot ask.
Hmm.
Friends, in intercaste marriage certificates, will be the caste of my spouse.
Hmm.
And considering that third party information can be disclosed through this certificate, through disclosure of this certificates, and considering the the widespread penetration of casteism that we have in our country, it is not appropriate to disclose that third party information. You can ask my name. The applicant in this case asked two things. First, please give me the name of all the employees who have used this, who got their job on the basis of intercaste certificates. And the applicant also asked, please give me a soft copy. Please give me a copy of all those certificates. The Madras High Court simply said, no, sir, we can't give this third party information. And considering the social stigma that is there, this can't be disclosed. So there has to be a balance. What you can ask, yes, you have a right to ask a public document, but if it impacts third party rights, it will have a problem. Moving forward, friends. Now, since Rohit was discussing about how much penalty can be imposed. No, if the information is not provided within 30 days, the Information Commission can impose penalty maximum of rupees 25,000. Question is, friends, can an applicant seek the imposition of penalty from the court or commission? Or is it the discretion of the Information Commission? if we wish, we will impose, but you can't ask. The applicant can't ask. Yes, no, don't know, or it might be, might not be.
Sir, issues with sound. Can you please repeat the question?
Yes. So my question is, can an applicant, in case the information that he has asked is not provided to him within the 30 days, can an applicant seek imposition of penalty from the court or commission?
Yeah, if the
Please
jurisdictions,
impose a penalty on this PIO for not giving me this information.
yeah, the
He has
jurisdiction,
wasted so much of my time, my
yeah.
efforts for so
I-
many delays.
I personally think it's yes.
You personally think it's yes, sir. Why
Yes.
do you think so, sir? Why, sir?
Because there is a time
Personally?
frame. See, if anything is imposed or anything is constituted, there should be some boundary line. So
There
otherwise,
should be some
if I get
boundary line, sir.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
can
This is logical thinking. I don't know the law, sir. I don't know
no
the law.
problem, sir. I will state the law.
Yeah, yeah.
Friends, in this case, there was an extraordinary delay of 2 years in giving the
Okay.
information. Not just कि 1-2 days gap है या 2 days, 2 years तक the PIO did not give the information. So the applicant appealed to the Information Commission, and when the Information Commission said कि imposition of penalty is our discretion, we will impose if we find it reasonable to impose. In this case, the court said a very beautiful 2 words: culpable delay in furnishing the information. Culpable delay, not just delay. 1-2 दिन कुछ वीक्स की बात होती तो ठीक थी, हम देख सकते थे कि पेनल्टी इंपोज करनी है या नहीं करनी है, बट 2 साल का डिले. In this case, the Karnataka High Court using the word ki in this case we can't turn our eyes to your discretion. You ought to have imposed penalty for this culpable delay and negligence of duty.
Who pays the fine, sir? Sir, who pays the fine? The officer in his personal capacity?
This
or his
question, sir,
department?
will be answered during
Okay.
the course. I will not
Okay, okay.
answer
Okay,
it
okay,
now.
Okay, okay.
That you will कुछ days का और wait.
Sir, मेरा पहला lecture है.
Sure, sir. Friends, in this case, what happened was the court not only imposed a penalty of rupees 20,000, but he gave them the cost also, cost of the litigation, and also interest on that payment. 2% interest the PIO has to pay in case he is not paying this penalty and cost. That is the strictness with which the court views the timely delivery of information. Next question. I will not take much time because my next colleague is there also. I will try to complete as soon as possible. So friends, my next question is, can a PIO insist that application fee for RTI, that is a 10 rupees fees that you have to pay, has to be paid in a particular mode only? कि आप सिर्फ कैश ही पे कर सकते हो, हम और कोई we will not accept any other mode, या फिर आप TD के थ्रू पे कर सकते हो बस, या फिर आप सिर्फ ऑनलाइन ही पे कर सकते हो, हम ऑफलाइन we will not even accept that. Can a PIO insist that to an applicant? Okay, sir, please pay. I will just give you the facts of this case I'm talking about, friends. In this case, what happened is the PIO insisted that the applicant should pay only in cash. And in his support, he cited that there is a 2008 circular from my department that mandates that the RTI application should be paid in cash only. Now he defended, sir, I insisted on the payment of cash on the basis of my circular. I cannot go bypass that. I have to insist what my superior has circulated, what my superior has erected, that the RTI fees has to be paid in cash only. I have to insist on that. Now, based on these two facts, friends, do you think that its defense of the PIO is acceptable? Now, those who have said no, he can't, I want your answers. Yes, no, still he can't, Deepak ji, why do you think no? Or if anyone else wants to say?
If it is based on the circular, then I think yes.
Okay, if it is based on the circular.
Yeah.
So, okay, so friends, since you answered this question, I will say that the High Court said, the Madras Information Commission said, any circular that is made in contradiction with the RTI rules is illegal.
Okay.
Okay.
You have made a circular, but that circular is in contradiction. It is in violation of the RTI rules, which prescribe different modes of payment. Hence, you cannot insist on a single mode of payment, and the Information Commission imposed a penalty of rupees 10,000 on that.
Thank you, sir.
Friends, lastly, this is if anyone is a PIO here, or if anyone is a government or officer here who can be appointed as a PIO, this question is to them, and to have just also, can an arrest warrant be issued against a PIO for disregarding the orders of Information Commission, or can only penalty be imposed? 25,000 penalty, though we all know, but can the Information Commission issue a warrant of arrest of the PIO? Have you heard of somewhere the PIO has been arrested? कभी न्यूज में आया हो या किसी दोस्त के थ्रू या someone you have arrested? Recently, Madhya Pradesh Information Commission, excellent, sir, excellent. Friends, recently, very recently, in an exceptional case, very rarely it happens, but very recently, the Madhya Pradesh Information Commission issued a warrant of arrest for the PIO. Why did the Information Commission do so? It's a very exceptional case. We have been known so far that the imposition of penalty itself is an extreme case. Then why did the Information Commission went and instead of what happened, friends, in this case was the commission exercised its power of the civil court under section 18 clause 3 of the Right to Information Act. And why did the court exercise this right? First, the PIO failed to respond to the application within 30 days. When the appeal was made to the first appellate authority, the first appellate authority directed the PIO to disclose information. The PIO still refused to give that information. On second appeal also, the Information Commission asked the PIO to come to court and see the, no, please come to the Information Commission. He still did not go. The Information Commission imposed penalty on the PIO and asked him to pay. The PIO still did not pay that penalty. For 2 years, this went on. Ultimately, for non-compliance, the Information Commission issued an arrest warrant for the PIO. This cannot continue. So, friend, this was the this was a very extreme case. The Information Commissions usually don't exercise this power, but if the PIO behaves in such a way that for 2 years you don't even respond to even a single request and direction of your supervisor and the Information Commission, and you don't even come to the Information Commission to appear for it, the Information Commission has that power to issue an warrant of arrest, and that power comes from section 18(3) of the RTI Act, which gives the Information Commission the power of a civil court. Friends, these were some contemporary developments, that will, I hope that will improve on the knowledge that you have gained so far in the course. For more contemporary updates, those who are not from the law background, there is a website called Live Law. Those who are not from the law background, friends, there is a website called Live Law, and on that website there is a specific section on RTI. Any new development, any contemporary judgment of importance that comes is concisely put in this section, and very simple terms, in common man terms. So those who are interested to strengthen their knowledge of the RTI Act with contemporary issues and cases that are being decided by courts and the Information Commission, you can visit this website. With that, I will end my presentation, and if there are any doubts or questions, we can take them up.
Sir,
Yes, please
sir,
go
I
ahead.
had posted my doubt. Sir, I had posted my doubts on chat box. Can you kindly refer it?
Can you please read it out for our benefit, please?
Sir, my doubt is that suppose you told that intercaste marriage certificate is going on and we can't produce the information those who are involving in that intercaste marriage. But sir, in my state, in Chhattisgarh, generally before commencing their certain marriage, the information of both the spouse, husband and wife, is publicly announced in the newspaper that this and these persons are going to marriage. So my doubt is that if they are going to produce that information in newspaper publicly, then why there is a problem to provide such certificate?
To answer that question, when intercaste marriages happen, the act is different. The act is the Indian Marriage Act, and that law prescribes that procedure. But the RTI law is different. Once that marriage has been solemnized, once that has been done, the question is, can you request the certificate from the public document record? That there are two different things. They are not linked with another. Your question is, no, it makes sense also कि जब आप सबको newspaper के through बता ही रहे हो, तो why you don't disclose certificates? Please understand that the rules and the act is different, and hence, as far the Right to Information Act is concerned, the third party information will not be disclosed.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question or intervention? Yes. So I think we would come to the end of our first live session. And I think because of the interactions, we should henceforth go with a jugal bandi rather than triple bandi. So I think Ms. Anuja Shah would be engaging you thoroughly in the next live session. And we would like to conclude this. If there's any particular query, I think you have the NPTEL Google form or Google group link wherein you can raise out queries and we will respond to them accurately from time to time.
Where
So,
we get that, sir? In our emails?
I think
Google
when
form?
you're registering for the course, I think it will be there. So I'm sure
Okay.
Karthik will be able to assist you with that. Yes.
Yeah, because this is all rocket science for me.
Yes, I completely understand. But do not worry. Law is
Yeah,
for the
yeah, you
benefit
are
of the
there.
people, and it is
Yeah.
no rocket science. So
Yeah,
आपके pocket में ही rocket.
100%.
So with that,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
will just take leave.
And you are there to guide me. I need not worry, sir.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for an engaging discussion, everyone. Have a nice
Yeah.
day.
Thank you, Rohit bhai. Thank you, Vikas bhai. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuja.
Thank you.
Bye. Shall I leave?
Yes, I think Karthik will end this.
Only.
Yes.
Okay,
All
sorry.
the participants.